Representatives Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Mace get into a heated exchange on whether white privilege actually exists in society today or not. You guys got to check this out.
First of all, my first question is, who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
if the ladies recognize, if the gentlelady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr. Chairman. Let's take a vote and hear from Hunter Biden. What are you afraid of?
Hold on. Order.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Could you keep interrupting me?
I'll interrupt the chairman. I don't know that he's a lady.
I think that that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Our nation is founded on the rule of law.
Come on.
And the premise that the law applies equally to everyone, no matter what your last
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Biggs over here.
Donald Trump Jr.
Biggs over here.
State your point, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, my point of order is this. Are we going to continue on with this blatant interruption? This is absurd and inappropriate. I intend to give my statement. I don't intend to have anybody interrupted. I'm not going to interrupt your statements. I think you should have decorum and courtesy and don't act like a bunch of nimrods.
You just interrupted a woman.
And that's five,
I got permission.
Can we agree everyone has
Mr.
5
Chairman,
minutes? Can we agree?
Point of order again. The assertion that I interrupted was absolutely false. That's typical of the gentleman who spoke it. I got permission to speak from the chairman. I spoke. I was interrupted yet again by the gentleman who doesn't choose to go through the chair and follow proper order. I encourage us, I think if we're going to have any respect at all, we need to have proper decorum.
Well said.
Okay, all right. So we love the Constitution today, and we also want to talk about foreign money coming in. Have y'all seen the report that was just produced where this chairman decided that he was going to block this committee from receiving additional information about y'all's guy, Trump, and all the money that he took? From what we did receive, we know that Trump got almost $6 million that we can account for, and we know that there's more there. From China specifically, we found almost $8 million total that he accepted from foreign governments while he was serving as the president of these United States. But we're concerned about the president's son who has not been involved in his administration. I just want to run it back, though, to the very beginning, because this is something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. So let me tell you something. Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something. You see, you want to talk about a two-tier justice system, and this is the only time that y'all have ever referenced it, when this country has a history when it comes to black and brown folk of having two separate sets of rules. And right now what you want to do is have two separate sets of rules because Mr. Moskowitz offered y'all a fair situation. He said he would vote for Hunter to be held in contempt if y'all voted to hold all, even if you remove all of the members of Congress. There's still other people that y'all haven't decided that y'all have excuses for, but y'all don't want to hold them in contempt. But for some reason, it makes sense to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, who has tried to comply. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far. as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin, spin, spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say.
You know, I really wish that some people would think before they speak. Why is she claiming that Donald Trump tried to steal an election? Is she referencing the Russiagate, the thing that Obama and his administration fabricated? All that the Republicans want, for the most part, is voter identification. The fact that that is considered controversial, especially from somebody sitting in Congress, is maddening. It makes you think, how could anybody support a woman who is against that? That goes to show the Democrats don't really care about Americans. They just care about preserving their power. And in regards to Hunter Biden, I don't think there's a lick of white privilege there. I just think that this man is privileged because of his last name, and because they're a part of the deep state. These people protect one another. You scratch their back, they'll scratch your back. I mean, what did Hunter Biden get paid? Like $5 million every single year for something that he knows nothing about? He had zero experience, yet Ukraine brought him on the board of advisors, and he kicked back 10% of his salary to the big guy. This has nothing to do with skin color. It has everything to do with the fact that the deep state in Washington, D.C. is corrupt. Even some people on the Republican side are crooked, I will admit. I'm not some blind loyalist to the Republican Party. I just support candidates and congressmen who actually look out for the well-being of Americans. And it's clear whoever installed Crockett into her position now is only trying to sow division, sow hatred across America, because she's so quick to say these buzzwords like white privilege, you're such a racist, how can you be against America, you're a treasonist. Yet she doesn't have the presence of mind to research these topics before she starts spewing the nonsense in front of Congress.
Y'all's gas masks, and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to address briefly, quickly, that moment about privilege and all of this that we're seeing here. It was a very beautiful speech by the gentlelady, who, as she mentioned, was helped lead on the now majority side, the Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Subcommittee. But I think it's so exemplary of the point that she also oversaw the elimination of the Civil Rights Subcommittee on this committee, which really kind of gives the whole game away. We show up, we give speeches, we give flowery words, but at the end of the day, participate in the structural erosion of the rights and representation of people that are marginalized, women, people of color, people that just need to see their due process and civil liberties protected in this country. But I will move on. As also the Republican side had mentioned in their many raisings of the January 6th committee, that it's not just Hunter Biden, you, me, any individual subject to equal treatment under the law, to be held up to accountability under the law, but it is also these committees and this committee that is subject to oversight and law. We must comply with the law here as well. Now, I may be one of the very few people that actually believes in Congress, in this country, but I do, and many of us do here. And we have an obligation to engage in good faith participation to execute and comply with the subpoena. The chairman said in front of the country several times to Hunter Biden, you can show up here in front of the world, in front of the public. Hunter Biden took him up on that offer. He said, I will show up in public. I will show up in public. He showed up here today. He showed up here in the past. And Mr. Chairman, I know you do your best with what you've got, but you've got members here that have submitted falsified evidence to the record. You have members here that have submitted and mischaracterized closed-door hearings, and people want to say back and forth at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what party it's happened from. You've got members who've engaged in revenge porn
Okay, I had to stop it. I can only take so much misinformation in one sitting. A lot of what they said is nonsense propaganda. There's nothing behind their words. There's no facts behind any of this. Yes, they might sound good in front of a camera, but goodness knows it's not true. And when they were talking about the January 6th protests and how Donald Trump led an insurrection in this country, that's one of the biggest lies that they perpetuate. And it reminds me of the Joseph Goebbels quote. Joseph Goebbels, if you don't know who he was the father of propaganda. He says, if you tell a lie big enough, loud enough, and often enough, over the course of time, it will become the truth. That's what they're trying to do with January 6th, saying it was the darkest day this country has ever seen. A president ran an insurrection against this country. He should be beheaded. He should be thrown in jail for the rest of his life. All that Trump said was he wanted to peacefully and patriotically protest. And if you ask me, there were a lot of FBI heads into the crowd. And I think the Democrats wanted it to happen. Because if you think about it, what happened afterwards, nobody was talking about the controversy regarding the actual election and whether the election was stolen or not. People changed the topic of conversation from that to the insurrection, thus killing any momentum that the Republicans had of getting to the bottom of what actually happened. I really do believe that if the Founding Fathers came back and saw the state of our country today and saw Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Tim Walz, any of these people, they would say, what the heck did you guys do wrong? Because people like this don't have the best interests of Americans. They only care about furthering their own agenda. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Who was your least favorite politician in Congress today? Let me know. For me, it's probably Elizabeth Warren, just because she's so hell-bent on destroying the cryptocurrency industry. But let me know yours down below. I'd love to hear that. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Until next time.